Join me this October where I'll be celebrating Halloween. 31 zine reviews in 31 days. Joining me will be my friend Beanie. Hi, welcome to another edition of Halloween. As always, I have Beanie by my side. Beanie, we're getting down to the wire. How are you doing?
You?
I like you too. Today, we are going to be looking at The Elder Oak by Thomas Vokonen, an old school role-playing adventure. So it seems to be somewhat system agnostic as far as it just has to be with an old school game. So it seems like it can be converted quite easily. And nice art to kind of start with, very kind of genteel pastoral. Here we have the table of contents. We've got the map of the town, adventure overview, outskirts of the town, townsfolk, the after hours townsfolk, and then we've got some items probably within a building of some sort. So the credits is the Exalted Funeral edition. Thomas Vokonen. Additional art is in the public domain. And special thanks to Ahimsa Kerp. Once again, I always apologize. I probably butcher a lot of pronunciations. So let's read what the author has to say. This project started in late 2018 as a diversion. I was trying to write another role-playing adventure, one of those big ideas, when I realized I'd bitten off more than I could chew. The adventure format was new to me, and I felt I needed to do something simple first. My goal was to test out all the cool RPG writing theory I had picked up on the internet, mainly following OSR enthusiasts on Twitter, reading blogs, watching YouTube videos, and above all, reading RPG books. I'd become addicted to buying and kickstarting. I was enamored by Mothership's layout, Maze Rat's clear presentation, Death Frost's Doom atmosphere description, and Winter's Daughter awesome usability. I wanted my little adventure to have some of those properties. So I had recently discovered Dungeon Synth and was listening to probably Old Sorcery when I got this idea about an evil tree. Perfect, I thought. That's my simple RPG story. Some 2 years later, Elder Oak is done. The process taught me a lot about game design, layout, map making, and role-playing games in general. It's come far from the first sketches and drafts. It has some meat slapped on its bones and is now some colorful new clothes, but the awkward skeleton is still there. As someone who has trouble finishing projects, I felt tempted to start it from scratch and do it right this time. But I figured I needed to move on. The next one will be better. That's not to say I'm not quite happy with this one. He goes on to mention RPG and OSR circles, and there's a little bit of shorthand here, but debated taking some of the more disturbing content out, but hey, it's an OSR adventure. Let's do this. Elder Oak has the party discover the secrets that lie buried beneath a remote puritanical town. The adventure is intended for low-level parties and is compatible with BX-style rule sets. I assume that 1 GP of treasure equals 1 experience point. And so we have the description of the town, and I probably should just say spoiler alert, as we move forward. There's the town. The Elder Oak is a magical tree planted 1,000 years ago by forest fairies. Its once dormant powers are now wielded by the spirits of the 3 witches. The plant spirit, which originally inhabited the tree, escaped the foul witch's spirit into the body of the common adder snake. It has since grown into a giant adder lurking underground. It wants its tree body back and revenge on the witch spirits. So we've got the town, the Elder Oak, and the dungeon. And the town is built on a hill. Underneath the town, there is a ruined Druid temple once used for magical research. Cool. So we've got the setting. And we have the witches. They want revenge on the preacher and the town that betrayed them. Some possible outcomes, as with any OSR kind of game, you play at the table to find out what happens. There's no railroading. You can adjust difficulty. There's some adventure hooks. You've got 6 here, presumably to roll. We could, let's see, number 5, a dying fairy in human form tells a PC that the forest is sick. and that it must be healed. The source of the sickness is in a nearby town, and reward the PCs. As reward, the PCs are promised a rare visit to the realm of the fairies in the heart of the forest, or lots of gold, possibly fairy gold. So here is a, let's see, does that correspond with the image on the cover? More blown up, so it's a down here, more blown up version with the labels on it. So turn page for all the town locations. We've got the Forest Road, the first impressions of the town, Goblins in the Darkness, Night Guard. Here's a wider view of the town, Preacher's House, the Widow's House, Church, the Mill, Burned House, the Oak Tree, the River Cafe. And then there's a whole bunch of different 40 people living in the townsfolk, and different secrets that you can randomly roll about the preacher, what they want. They want to protect the community from evil, make a secret deal with the PCs for them to destroy the elder oak, which he believes is poisoning his congregation. What he does not want is for the congregation to find out his assistant is actually his child. Boo. About the widow, she's dressed in black and gray, mourns the death of her husband, and fears for her missing child. She hides a rod of knock, which has 5 charges in her home, and will give it as a reward if her child is returned. And she wants to find her missing child. About everyone else, they want to survive and procreate, be a good parish member, and for the PCs to stay and protect them. What they do not want is for their personal secret to come out. And here is some more rumors. The town come together for church services, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And this is the perfect time to hear rumors and gossip. Here are some strange nocturnal encounters. 3 of them. The graveyard, red-headed child sneaks around town alone, has kind of that, what's that M. Night Shyamalan movie, The Village, kind of got that vibe to it. The cabbage farmer is chanting at the moon, and the townsfolk after hours, what are they doing? They pray at the oak tree, sneak through the bushes. It's at home building a replica of the church out of sticks, waltzing with a broomstick. So creepy village people. Mixing usually like parishioners and like small villages, and it's always kind of creepy. So we've got where I probably skipped over where we're heading here. The basement floor. Okay. In the temple. 12 goblins dwell in the temple, 2d4 goblins in the basement. So we've got basement activity, and then something that happens every 10 minutes. Whether it be a goblin waking up to use the toilet or drinking from the well. The widow's child missing now lives among the goblins. Interesting. But they have been brainwashed by the elder oak into thinking they are a goblin. There's the well in the toilet, cells in scribe room, laboratory, and there's some cauldron, chest of drawers, shelves, glass jar. What looks like dried pieces of wood, but instead is a pixie turned into a platform. Interesting. Here is the dormitory. So you see all the beds and the eating area. I do like the art amongst it. It just has a nice flow to it, especially with the colors. It just kind of seems like it fits. And I would say it actually fits very well into the OSE kind of look to it. And the common room, doors to the common room main hall. And here's another illustration. And I think all these illustrations are quite well done. The temple, the main hall of the temple is buried, and then there's the altar, the mezzanine, the priest chamber, and then the giant adder, which we talked about earlier. And then the altar, goblins, and a child. So as we mentioned, the child is now living with them. Unusual goblin weapon, so beyond probably the typical dagger, short sword. There's witch spirits in wraith form. Goblin raid and defense. And the goblins are planning a raid on the town. The goblins prefer to wait for the PCs to leave before raiding. If the goblins learn that the PCs are plotting against them or know that about the temple or are planning to help the town to protect the against the raid, they will launch the raid as soon as possible. So you, as kind of, it's not maybe new ground, but it's kind of been done before, but it's a good adventure. You're helping out a town and there's a nearby challenge and a nearby mystery of this cursed town. And there's some secrets in this village that you can uncover. And there's, ancient history, and the planting of the elder oak is a little bit more backup. And yeah, I think it's a nice, fun little adventure, and you can see the goblin up in the tree. Good art, I would say. I liked all of that. And well, I'll include links to the game and Thomas Vakonen's social media handles and Twitters and all that stuff if I can find them. But anyways, looks like a fun game, suitable for any OSR type of system that you're using. And check it out.
Happy Halloween, ladies.